Hello and welcome. In this presentation, I'm going to be talking about accessing values from MakerPlot. If we're going to configure anything to any depth, we really need to know about how to access values. So I'm going to disconnect for a moment here, and let's go to Paint so I can draw and talk a little bit here. We'll use an example of analog data because it's most important to many of us. If I bring in a value such as 10, 20, 30, okay, and followed by a carriage return or line feed, of course, MakerPlot takes that and stores it into values. And the way it stores it is the first one is stored into what's called A in 0, analog in 0. The next one is stored into A in 1, and then A in 2, and so on and so forth. And you can bring in 100 analog values separated by commas and be able to process those. Okay. And the way we access those through MakerPlot coding is to put values inside brackets. So we bracket those values, we bracket those terms, and we can access that data. So back to MakerPlot for a moment here. Okay, so if I bring up my debug window, for example, I can say question. And again, I get all these possible things I could do. Here's all the controls up here. And then main values, okay? So we can access those and see those values. Here's some of our AN values. I can see in real time as those values change. I can actually turn on lock and auto refresh and connect. Those unexpectedly reconnect. I can monitor those values in real time and be able to see exactly what I want to see and be able to take a look at those. But it does bring up the list of various controls. So I can say question mark, again, debugs to the, prints it to the debug window, print AN 0, and close bracket, oops, lowercase, AN 0. Okay. And everything in MakerPlot is pretty much case sensitive, in case you haven't figured that out yet. So AN 0 was 7, at that instant was 75.93. Okay. But there's a lot of values we can bring up. We could do AN1, AN2, or there's a whole set of different values and things, such as we can get the system time in seconds. So we can bring up from the general processing itself a lot of information. Okay? A lot of different values that are stored in there. Again, if I go here and I right click, I can bring up some help on here. They want to select, then right click. Okay. So a little help here also with values and instructions here. We can do things such as system, daytime version, hit F1. Hitting F1 will bring up help for whatever we've got down here. So I can get the version of this, and I'm running Windows 10 currently. Okay, so a lot of things we can access, and accessing variables is really important to us, values. If we want to get it from a plot specifically, or from a control specifically, we can start typing a control name, such as plot. It's just highlighted up here, dot, and bring up just that value, such as channel 0. So I can view currently what channel 0 of the plot is. Again, that's changing continually because I'm plotting here, so it's all over the place. So we can monitor those values. Again, I can lock and auto refresh and be able to watch those in real time as well if I want to monitor what's going on with those channels. So bring up values is really important to us. Let's look at one more aspect of MakerPlot, and that's using math. Okay, it's important to us. A lot of times you use math and such with these values. Okay, math, we define to MakerPlot standard math. There's two types of math. There's standard math and prefix, postfix math, or infix math. Infix is normal math, and postfix is like the old HP calculators and such. There's certain string operations such that can be done with postfix math I won't get into right now. You can look up in the help files. But we define a math operation by using the curly brace and defining whatever math we want to do. 2 times 2. And then close that down. Okay, it'll do the math of 2 times 2. And the math library is pretty extensive in its operations. So we can use math we're used to with parentheses and going from the inner parentheses to the outside parentheses, and precedence here again is multiplication over addition and such. So some pretty standard math operations. If I include in that a value such as a and 0, again, I just enclose it in braces. A and 0, and close my brace up. So that's a form of a math operation. So we can go to debug window and try a couple out here. So print brace, and it gives some, it just shows a basic math. I didn't list them all. It's just a huge number of different ones. So I just listed a handful of math functions here. But you can go to help files and look at the entire listing of math functions. But I can do like 2 times 2, and I'm sorry, it is a asterisk for multiply, not a x. So 2 times 2, of course, for math is 4, or add to it that value of a and 0, close bracket, and we get 88.4 plus whatever value a and 0 was at that instant. Okay, so that's our math operators. And this is important to us. These are important to us for math operations, and I'll show you one way. I'll show a couple of ways that become important to us. Let's go back to our plot here. I'm going to disconnect for now. I'm sorry, let's go ahead and reconnect. We'll start this plot over again. So update in real time here. The plot has a number of settings to it. Okay, right-clicking the plot, we can go through a lot of different settings with it. We go to its settings window. We can change the plot style, how much we want to auto shift by, turn the icons on or off if they're distracting to us. Show the x-axis settings on the screen or not. We can turn those off, reset the min-max average, clear drawings. The plot has full drawing capabilities, drawing lines and boxes and such. Clear constants, constant drawings will remain even if we clear the plot. Reset the plot and save and load data again. Well, let's go to settings here. Take a look at that. I'm going to do that one more time. Sometimes right now my colors aren't updating, but through settings we can change the back color and the grid color and the axis and all kinds of other values with it from here. Change our label. Change our axis, min and max, major and minor axes, data points. Now with data points, it's how much it keeps in memory before it starts deleting the oldest data. So this line up here shows us how full that number of data points is. When it reaches the end, it'll start dumping, purging the old data. So we can set how much data to keep in memory so we can analyze it and view it and such. No change, skip storing. If a value doesn't change for 20 values worth, it's not going to save it as a data point. and that just provides some compression so that it's not storing every single data point if the data is not changing. Show channel legend or show channel values and turn those off if desired. With channels, okay, we can go through and we can change the various plot color, channel colors, such as from being black on this one to make it nice dark blue here, for example. And it changes that channel 0 color. We can also turn channels on or off through here, just like above. We can change the name of the channel. So instead of being channel 0, we can call it temperature. Okay, so it updates that channel name. Formula. Now, this is where we're leading to with all the AN values and such. Okay, so if these are blank, they automatically use AN0 for channel 1, AN1 for channel 0. It automatically uses AN0 for channel 0, AN1 for channel 1, AN2 for channel 2, and so forth. Or we can put a value in there to tell it what to plot instead. So let's say I'm setting a lot of data, I want to plot AN15 instead. So I can define it to use that value of my data. I can also enter off, so it just turns that channel off instead. And so as it plots, it won't update now, but it'll update it when it starts acquiring data again. So let's go ahead and start acquiring data again. Show my icons. See what's doing. There it is. So our data is drastically changed from what we saw before, as well, channel AN15 had nothing in it, so we're getting 0 out of here. We just shift another channel here. Okay, so let's go back again to the settings. And let's leave this one as both blank. I turned off that other channel. Okay, so let's do some math here. We can see, let's go ahead and make that back to black so we can see it good on the plot. Okay, and I'm going to do some math here. Now, inside this box, we don't need to put the braces for math. We can if we want to, but I'm going to take AN0 and multiply it by 2 so that any new data coming in will have that formula assigned to it. We saw that went way down. Let's turn auto scrolling on, and we can see that channel is much larger than it used to be because we're multiplying that channel by 2. So we can scale our data and offset it and such, however we want to manipulate that incoming data before it gets plotted. So that'd be a definite benefit to some to be able to update and see those various channels and such. Apply math to that incoming data before it's plotted. Let's also look at the meters here. So I'm going to right click on a meter here and set data source. So this tells me what it's currently plotting with, what data source is plotting with. And so again, we set our brackets there, and we're going to the plot control, and it's reading channel 0. So that's the source of its data, plot and channel 0. And of course, we can apply some math here too if we wanted to be able to span and scale that. Let's divide that by, let's say, 10. And we seem to have stopped plotting there. Let's try that one more time. Set data source. I'm going to put the brackets in here. I can't remember if these need brackets for math or not. I'm sorry. So put some brackets around that once. And there we go. Okay, so that does require brackets. I'm sorry about that. So consistency is nice. When in doubt, just always put the braces in there for math operations. Okay, so we can set that for the meter size, and see that's monitoring way down from the previous. And reading those values become really important to us when we start writing our own interfaces and calling out things that we want to do. For example, just looking at this button here, if we go down to here and hit F3, let's see what that code for that is. So it says exclamation MET star wildcard. So anything starting with MET for meter, set the min, its min value, to, well, get the plot Y min. So read that value and set it to the min for the meter. For the max, get the Y max and set that to the max for the meter. Update label meters. Okay, so it reads the labels here and updates the meters label. So channel 1 is still channel 1, but it reads those and it reads it from the plot values and updates the plot channel names. Just real quick here, if this becomes too much to remember everything, we go up and open this up in the editor. And we can say such as meter, there's our list of meters, meter 2, dot, find some property about it, such as name or whatnot. That's the control name itself. We don't want to change that. I'm looking for a label here. Oh, here's the label. Okay, put that in there. Is equal to hello. Update my code, which will update down here. Tab off, and we're all set. And so when I hit the button here, it'll also run this code and label this meter as being hello. Okay, or we can go into the properties for this meter and open up here directly, and we can just change the label here too. Okay. And also on the right click for the meter itself, it's got set label, so we can just go in there and directly set it. Voltage. Okay, so all kinds of things we can start doing with properties, reading values, reading properties of various things, and being able to access those. Okay, that's enough for this presentation. Just to show some how to access variables and property, or values and properties, and also variables if you have any, of various controls and the interface itself and such. Okay, thank you, and happy plotting. Bye-bye.